I want so much good for my son that my fear literally, and I don't know if anybody understands that type of fear, is one day my son saying to me, "Mommy, you did not do enough for me." And I feel like that fear is enough for me to say, I don't want to experience that again by making another child that I have. When I make that child, I cannot often say, I don't want to partake in that child's life because that child is mine.
We as human beings, men and women, understand or know the repercussions of certain actions that we go through.
Grown Folks Only Podcast.
Okay, guys, welcome to Grown Folks Only Podcast. And tonight we're going to discuss a video that we watched earlier this week concerning expectations or unrealistic expectations that persons have when trying to date other people. Now, I make it generalized because even though the video was geared towards a woman contacting a dating show and being asked specific questions and then giving her expectations, we also know that men have unrealistic expectations as well. And that's what we're going to further discuss tonight. I know the rest of my panelists, especially the males, are more like, women are the ones who have more unrealistic expectations as to what they want. But particularly in this video, the lady basically was stating that she doesn't want to date any men that have multiple baby mamas or have young kids. And when asked or posed the question by the host, they asked her if she had any kids, and she said yes. Then they asked how many baby daddies does she have. She said 3. So she has 3 kids. When asked if she had any young kids, she said, yes, I have 1 kid under 2. So it was just like so contradictory. You're giving her all this information or expectations as to what you want, but you basically are saying that you're not going to date yourself. So how could you expect someone to date you if you're not willing to put up with a male version of you? So it was just one of those weird expectations.
One of the things that comes to mind is, I have a few things. Could be control. It could just be somebody's realizing that they already come with a lot of baggage, and they already want the full princess treatment, and they want the kids to get the full princess treatment. So the man coming with his own baggage would mean that they're not going to get 110% of the guy. They're going to have to reciprocate the actions that they want. And it is so one-sided when it comes to the dating game right now. I understand why a lot of men either don't want to date or they're just playing the field because they realize they're not going to get anything serious.
Yeah, I think you all remember Kevin Samuels, where his show when women used to call in and they would have these kind of unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
I feel like situations like this is where we understand how Kevin used to be getting on, because just the level of delusion some women have. I speak from a woman's perspective. Yes, you want the best for yourself, for your children, but you can't come with expecting something else, yet you have the same thing that you don't want. So I think that level of delusion is what really is preventing I think one of the reasons why a lot of women, they just stay single. Not because they, by choice, but because they just can't get a man who would put up with that.
Facts.
Okay, real quiet tonight. What's going on there? What's going on? I'm in the studio, so one can't need to hear something from you.
Voice break at all?
Well,
Wow.
I think Jason, you need to go on and I will follow through. Yeah.
I'm at a loss for words with this topic because as a guy, you have this thing called stand your ground. Somebody breaking into your house, right? Do you stand your ground or do you fold? What do you accept from somebody? If you want a friend, I understand you want a friend, but do expect something you're not giving yourself. You made all your bacchanal, you do all your life, all your zesting, you make free children, and you don't want somebody with free children. I fully understand that, by the way, because when you get to know somebody, imagine I getting to know you and have to leave your baby kids over there. You never see that with baby kids? All I feel about is baby kids when I hear that.
So would you, for the gents or the ladies on the panel, would you date somebody who has children?
Having children, dating someone that has children isn't a problem to me. It's the co-parenting relationship you and the child mother have. That is what would make or child father. That is what would make or break the situation for me, at least. I can only speak for myself. Like,
Yeah.
if you and that child mother or child father have a very toxic relationship in co-parenting, y'all basically use the child as a pawn and all these different things. I don't want to be caught up in a situation like that, honestly speaking. So, like, I might think twice before dating someone who doesn't have a good co-parenting relationship with their child's parent.
I think for me, as an adult and a mature individual, you learn and you grow. And I have a thing for certain disciplines. So if I'm to date someone with kids and I'm to be a male figure in their life, whether it be for 6 weeks, 6 months, or 6 years, there's certain things that has to be part of the relationship. I'm not talking about maybe beating your kids, but I need the authority to be able to discipline your children. We can discuss it behind the kids' backs as to what you want, but I've seen both sides of the coins where the outside female or the outside male tries to discipline the children, and that causes a whole issue in the relationship because, like, you can't discipline my kids. So I'm like, okay, so I'm good enough to bust your back out, but I'm not good enough to be a man for your children, and vice versa. The co-parenting thing can be worked on because everything goes on levels. So if something happens, you can discuss it and say, okay, this happened, let's try and work it out or whatever. But you have to have boundaries when you deal in these things. And some people's
Agreed.
boundaries are so ridiculous that they don't even want to step it, but they want you to step over for yourself.
Facts.
Yeah, I feel like especially there's a difference, especially when you're dating someone with younger children compared to older. It could make the situation a little bit easier or less frightening. I know for me, when I was in my early 20s, mid 20s, I did not even think about considering anybody with children because I was like, me, it's just something I couldn't fathom at the time. But as I got older, as especially if that person has a healthy-ish relationship with the person. So, how Trini people will say, once one says no, like tack back, like no opportunity of, the ex coming back and having a second child, we good.
Oh, well, in St. Lucia, we say child mother, child father, zot poko kite.
And,
You have to translate it.
Please roll off the tongue there.
in Ghana, they would say, when you're rolling back, you don't eat your vomit. So it already went in, come back out, it doesn't taste the same the second time around.
I beg to differ.
And unless some people might beg to
To me as a man, you have to consider when you're dating a woman, you have to provide for her and whatever else you have going on. Sometimes it might not even be a child. It might be her mother acting like a child. It might be her brother acting like a child. It might be some family member. And first thing you have to assess is where the boundaries of this woman. And when I date her, how much can I expect her family to be involved in our relationship. Me personally, if I see your mother too much around you, I come there for your mother. It's you I come for. So if I see it's you and your mother or you and your friend, I will say, driver, stop in there and get off the bus real fast. That's my 2 cents about that.
Hey, talk to me. Carry on.
I've never had an issue with dating anybody who comes in with children. I think that it's important for whoever the person is to set boundaries. I mean, when you create something called a healthy boundary, you are able to create a space for when you get back into the dating world and you have to meet people. It's easier for when you invite people in your life for them to fit in. Communication is very important. I think when you do meet somebody, if you have a child or they have a child or you all both have children, because we have blended families, am I from a blended family? I don't think so, because am I from a blended family?
Kids?
Did his stepdad?
No, he did not.
Okay.
So no. Also, yeah, I was the ugly duckling then.
Oh.
Right? So
You were alone.
Yeah, but for me, when we looking at the dating landscape, especially for somebody, I think in the video the woman quoted that she had 2 grown children and the 1 or the 2 their own.
2-year-old.
So in her mind, her defense, what it was is that she don't want any man that has young kids.
Yeah.
Right? That was her rationale because most of the kids are grown.
right.
So from that perspective, I mean, in her head, it makes sense. It makes complete sense because
Right.
she already gone through that whole phase of having.
Yeah, but you have a 2-year-old, and she was unfair because now that's what the host asked her. She was like, "How can you say you don't want a man with young kids? How old is your youngest kid?" And she said, "My kid is 2." And then the lady asked her, "Well, why wouldn't you want to date a man with a kid that's just as young as yours?" She's like, "Because I supposed to be the only one that have young kids, not him."
Yes, because
And
she wants the man to take care of the kid. And if he had young kids, that means his time would be split between the two.
That's
So what happened to the
nonsense.
child father?
That's
What happened to
nonsense.
baby daddy number 3?
And any of you ever did somebody with young kids?
No.
No,
Okay, I
not
did,
too young.
I dated somebody with a kid around my age. Not my age.
What?
I was gonna say, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Wait, can we catch the cat? Let's catch the cat. Can jump out of the bag there a second. Why?
Real and come again, selector. Real and come again. Song 95
Somebody with a
time.
kid your age.
I dated someone with a kid my kid's age. And what I find happening is that they cancel each other out. So much so that when time comes for you to be sneaky, you can be sneaky and the children they play the future. I find it works better when they have
Somebody to play with.
somebody to play with. And that way, to me, your job as a parent is
Becomes
not to be
a
their
bit
friend.
easier,
It's not
yeah.
to be their friend. I come in there as a man. I have to be your friend. I have to be your provider. I have to be disciplinarian. Look that one's image if you can go and play in a corner. If you have a problem, then you'll come and complain to us.
I actually prefer dating people with children because I love children. One, and 2, I don't intend to have more. So I feel like I don't want more. That doesn't mean I don't like them, right? And I just think it would be less of a demand for me if I met a partner who already has children.
There's a question directly from the topic. If you meet somebody and they have swooned you and you're smitten and they don't have kids, but you're in love and he wants a kid,
I've been asked that question.
what would you do?
Yeah, I've been
And
asked that
if it's a
question.
make or break decision to the relationship and you love this person, you can see yourself for the rest of your life with this person.
Yo, I've been asked that question so many times, like I'm prepared, right?
As in you have a child somewhere in the corner?
No,
And not to bring anyone to the
no. When I had my son, I realized that before I had a fear and my priorities shifted after having my son, I realized that, hey, Kay, you're solely responsible for this blank canvas, right? And so my fears shifted to the point where it felt like I don't ever want my son to say to me, you did not do enough. And that has stuck with me from the time I've had Kyrie till now. He's 5 and he still has a long way to grow, right? And because of, I don't want to say it scarred me, but because I don't want to say it's just the responsibility, the fear of it, because that's what it was, that's what it is, the fear. I prefer not to go through the phase of having another child that's mine, right? That doesn't mean I don't like them and I don't want them around me. That's why I can deal with a man who has children, right? Now, to answer Carol's question, if I meet somebody that, we intending to have a serious relationship, that is a conversation I personally would bring up. I wouldn't even wait for him to have that conversation with me. If I meet you and we're dating and you have no child, and I realize that this could go somewhere, I'm going to be the one to initiate that conversation.
So you get ready for them?
No. I'm going to speak with that person and say to them that this is not something that I want. I don't intend to have children, but I'm accepting of children. Hear me out. If that individual now decides to stay, and let's say for better or worse, we get married, and then it gets to a point where he disregards the first conversation we ever had about me saying I don't want a child, and it gets to the point where maybe our relationship is at turmoil now because he's probably trying to get me to have that child, I personally would say to him, go ahead and make your child. And bring the baby for me to raise.
At this point, you put the halo over Kay's head in editing.
And the reason why I say that is, remember initially in one of the podcasts, I spoke about compromising. He compromised being with me and saying that my wife or my girlfriend does not want a child. Somewhere along the line, he decides that he wants to be selfish and has decided that he wants a child.
I don't
Right?
think that's selfish for you to want it, but
Yeah, it is selfish, and I'll say why. Because if
he decided to stay with you.
you decide exactly, and then now you want to shatter our
what about
entire
you?
relationship.
Being selfish too?
But the reason why I'm calling it selfish on that side is because I would have initiated the conversation. So that means if it was a deal breaker for you, you should have left.
But sometimes
You could have decided, you know what, I love her enough. Let me see if I can make this work. And realize, no, I really
You
wouldn't.
realize that I am adamant that I do not wish to make any more children. And at some point, maybe things get so bad between us, you end up stepping outside of us and you do end up having a child.
So why
I'm not going to resent that child.
So why don't just put it out? Okay, you know what?
I'm
I
not
don't plan
going
on
to
making.
resent
I
that
don't
child.
intend on making any children. Let's just put it this way: if ever at any point in time you want to make a child, you have my permission to go out and make one. You
No,
make
I
one
will
just
tell
like-
you that.
Okay.
So let me ask you, what is the point? I don't want a business partner. If I see you, I like to see you. You're a nice little flower there. The fundamental philosophical question is, do I pick the flower or do I leave it to grow on the plant? I like to see you, I like to see your eyes and think I want to see that in my child. So what I doing if I don't want a business partner or anything like that, I don't want a surrogate mother, what I doing if you as a woman, if you don't want to bear my children?
But that's why I said that I would have preferred dating somebody who already has children so that I don't feel pressured or obligated that I have to give you a child. That's why that's my preference. I'm not saying that I will not accept somebody who does not have a child, but I will initiate and let you know that this is not something that I intend to do or intend to have.
I'm asking a question. The same way that you believe that you'll get to the point of marriage, you in that discussion of thing, you do think at any point in time your mind might change?
I cannot speak for then, but I can tell you now, from the time I've had Kyrie up till this point, I have already said countless times that I do not wish to bear children of my own, but I want children that, did not come from me.
So you're okay with adopting a child, you just don't want to give birth again. So basically what you're trying to say is that the whole birthing experience was fearful and traumatic for you.
So what is your reason?
What is your reasoning for not wanting to birth another child, but you're okay with adopting another
I feel
kid?
like I explained, when you adopt a child, you can actually choose at what stage you get that child.
Yeah,
right?
Degree.
Also, you mean the early stages also?
I love the early stages. I actually love newborn babies.
So what is fearful to you? Because I'm trying to understand your logic behind not wanting another kid. Not that I'm judging you or anything, because I'm really not. I just want, I'm curious. I want to know. Because I can't say I used to be you, but
there would be some fear still with an adopted child.
Thank you.
Because they're still under your responsibility and your wings.
And not just that, there have been stories of adopted children murdering their parents. Just saying, just throwing that out there. You need to know their full medical history.
But accept to adopt a child if it really is at a place of make or break in the relationship, right?
Yeah, but suppose the person that you're dating don't want to adopt a child. They want a child of their own.
Then you need to go and make your child.
Yeah, but I'm trying to understand why you are willing to adopt, but not willing to give.
But I just said, I don't want to make. If it's a point of make or break, we can adopt. If you telling me I don't want to adopt and I must have a baby from you, you will go and make your child, my brother.
Down for 9 months.
No, it's not even about. Okay, here's another way to look at it, right? When, let's say we're not even married, me and that person, we're not even married, and then I do decide that I want to. Okay, let's have a child. Oh no, I don't decide I want to have a child. I end up getting pregnant, which that might not, be my situation. Okay? Because when you put things in the universe,
Okay.
so that will not be my situation. Right? I give birth and boom. Things change, you get up and you go. Who have that responsibility of the child?
The both two of you. The both two of you.
Mainly the mother. Right? That child is going to be living with me, doing everything with me. Remember, I said in the beginning, I had prior fears before having a child. My priorities shifted, right? My fear then became how realistic it is of I want so much good for my son that my fear literally, and I don't know if anybody understands that type of fear, is one day my son saying to me, "Mommy, you did not do enough for me." And I feel like that fear is enough for me to say, I don't want to experience that again by making another child that I have. When I make that child, I cannot often say, I don't want to partake in that child's life because that child is mine.
All right, so let me just interject that because we stay within the same scope of that topic, but I just want to impose what I believe I'm understanding from you and my interpretation of it.
Okay.
I feel it is you don't want the child because you cannot leave that child.
Okay.
I don't know if you get where I'm coming from. If you bear it, I'm saying it, sorry, I don't like calling children it.
Okay.
But if you bear the child, right, you are obligated and completely responsible for everything affiliated with that child.
Right.
If you end up in a relationship with a man who already has the child and the relationship doesn't work out, you could leave, exit stage left, and have no fear that you left that child. If you adopt a child in like manner, you're technically not the blood relative of that child. So you don't necessarily have the same obligation of bearing that child. Now, that's my understanding from how I'm seeing it. Because the only thing that's different is you carrying the child and caring for the child because the child was within your bosom. That's the only thing that's different.
No,
Which is why I was trying to understand.
I think that I agree to some extent of what you're saying, but I don't want y'all to cast aside or neglect the fear.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it and I understand.
No, because I want to just take you a little bit into my world. I never thought when I had my son that I would have been a statistic. I thought it would be mommy, daddy within the same household raising that child. Due to circumstances, we split, right? And so the responsibility falls. I mean, he does have a father. He does do what he needs to do for Kai, but Kai lives with me, right?
You're the main person.
Main player that's
Right.
takes care of it.
Right.
Yes.
My priorities shifted that I literally sat down and had a conversation with myself, and I was like, hey, this is your seed that you've placed in. Let me tell you that I am so afraid that my son says those words to me that I feel like it is my obligation that if my son misses just one aspect of his learning, that it is my fault, because he is a complete blank page that I have to nurture and teach everything to.
I respect that. I think for me, as somebody, and I think both Carol and Jason could relate, because all of us have older kids.
But I say that because with the men, it's easier. It is easier.
It's not easier.
I feel like
It's not easier.
in most situations,
you mean-
like you talk about what's it I say?
No. Do you believe it's actually easier? Do you believe it's easier?
Let me finish before. In most cases, the men are usually the one that gets up and can walk away from the child. Like I can remember a situation where I called my son's dad and I was like, hey, can you get me a tin of milk for Kai? He says to me, I don't have it right now. So I said to him, should I go to my foreman's and say, oh, well, daddy doesn't have it right now, so you're not going to have cereal, right? I feel like I don't have that choice to say, mommy don't have it right now. I have to find it.
Yeah.
So when I say that the statistics, the men have the choice in saying, today I'm unavailable to take the baby.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let me go through a few. Let me go for a few things that you said. One of the things I'll draw back on was your anxiety for perfection for your child's life. And a lot of parents don't understand that the fundamentals that kids need is time. Not all the extra what you have put upon yourself is your fear. A 5-year-old is mommy, is daddy. As long as as long as they've had fun with you, as long as you've done, you could discipline a child now for doing something and spin around and make them understand why you discipline them. And that is done.
No, I agree.
You know?
I agree.
So-
but when they start going to school,
There's
the teacher not going to say the fundamental thing
all
is
these
time.
things. Listen, there's all these
Is you're not
things.
doing this, you're not doing that, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. And we have to remember, again, I said it is a fear.
I understand. But we have to ground ourselves in the understanding. Like you said, you put out in the universe that you don't want to have another kid. So why don't you put out into the universe that you're going to be the perfect mom for your son?
I am going to be the perfect mom for one son.
For all the other children that you're going to have. For all the other children that you're going to have.
4, I will be the perfect stepmom to my partner's children.
All right. So
Hold on, that's not. This also goes back, to one of our first podcasts where I mentioned we as human beings, men and women, understand or know the repercussions of certain actions that we go through. If you're not prepared and ready to take on certain endeavors, we both should be responsible for each other to make sure that these things don't happen. So, did you want a child at the time?
I wanted a child, just not at the time. I don't think people.
So we're going to go back to the main scope of the topic, but
Right.
I just want us to be able to guide this along because I think it's going to be important when we go into the other part of the topic. Right. The fears that you have is more of, I would want to call it maternal instinct.
Right.
Right? Maternal instinct, which is something that you could only have because you bear, right? And you do not understand what it is for a man to be that type of person because he didn't bear the child. He provided the seed, but he didn't bear it. But you don't have the understanding. That doesn't mean that we don't have the same connection that you have.
Right.
Or we don't have the same fears that you have, right? Is that our society, the social situation, normally is what we fall into all the time as the example, and it's unfair in many ways.
But then you'll still get to say, I cannot do it.
Because at the end of the day, sometimes we don't have the say. That's part of the problem too. Sometimes we are not given the opportunity to have the say. For example, you already know for certain that you could be in a relationship and you are the custodian, you could say you do not want children, right? In other words, at the end of the day, no matter what happened, no child will be there if you don't want that child there, right? We don't have that power. You understand? Even as much as we may want it, we don't have that power.
I don't understand what you mean you don't have that power.
No, but we can't force you to have the child.
Or to get rid of the child.
Yeah.
No, you can't force me to get rid of the child.
Or to have the child.
I can't force you to have the child either.
But you can't make me have the child.
I'm speaking from my perspective. I fully understand what you're saying.
I got it there.
But the point I'm making is, at the end of the day,
Because that's how I had the child.
but the point I'm making is, when you think of it, it's almost like what your fears are is married into the fact that your maternal instinct is what's guiding you, and which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. But at the same time, you have no appreciation of what it is for it to be for the opposite side. Which is, I'm not telling you that the man cannot leave, because trust me, both man and woman can leave. There are women that have left their children. We know that,
course.
right? But I understand what your general fear is, right? I think a couple of episodes you asked whether or not we were raising single families or whatever, so on and so forth. I mean, my mother and I are close, but my father was in my life. But my connection is closer with my mom, so I understand those dynamics.
Right.
But if you're going to be guided by the fear of, and the fact that you cannot up and leave, which is what you believe that a man can do.
The fear is not the up and leave. The fear is the failure of.
The failure of?
Or the failure to.
Okay.
So the fear is not the up and leave. Because remember, in the first podcast when we spoke about the weaponization of children, I did express that I left, right? So I chose to leave, right?
Understood.
So,
But it's okay, kid.
but I took my child, right?
So what if he was insistent on keeping his son now?
Like keeping him?
Hold up. Can I come in here? Because in my case, it was a similar situation where she wanted to leave. And I asked, since I was the more stable person, if I could keep, because I could see the disaster coming. I don't want to call it a disaster, but I could see the ease of me keeping the child versus your primary school just over there, my parent just over there. I had more of an anchor than she did.
You had a family to help you raise.
I was the anchor,
Well,
and I recognized it was easier for me to keep the child. So I just made up my mind to say, hey, let me have that child. Would you, in a case like that, allow the man to raise the child?
Yeah.
Wow. I
actually asked to keep my daughter.
that honestly, I don't know how I would have, like, I really do not know how I would be able to respond to that. I feel like if there's no way as a mother, like I gave birth to my son, I can agree to us having a wonderful co-parenting relationship, but for you to have my son like to be the primary what
Caregiver,
of that child,
guardian.
I don't think I can live with myself.
The man making twice your salary. The man
But that's not the
living by
case.
his- the
No.
man doing his thing.
Let's go on a
The
hypothetical.
man is the most stable parent. And he says, hey, you know the man not beating your child, you know the man not abusing your child. He say, hey, you have some stuff to figure out. You can go figure yourself out, but just let me continue. And when you're ready, you can always come back.
So why not say to me, I know this might be sensitive for you. You want to take care of our child. I will support my child financially so that you just have the worries of taking care of yourself, your needs.
What the way you manage money and the way I manage money, or not money, but our resources is different.
Yeah, but you take care of your child groceries because that's what the child needs right now.
It's not about groceries.
You take care of your child groceries, your child's school. That's monies that you can take out from your pocket and take care of, right? If you know that I'm a good mom, but I just don't make twice the salary like you do, will you deprive me of taking care of our child?
If
And
I know
we
you're
split,
a good mom, I
and
don't
you
have
know-
no problem with that.
Exactly.
But if I know that you're going through some things right now, you're not sure what to do. Not about
Define
you being-
things.
I know what's your feelings. You're going through some things that doesn't mean that's feelings.
No, because and the reason why I asked for you to define things, because you're saying to me that whatever thing it is that I'm going through means now you have to say to me that you want to take the child.
Now you just said you cannot say you don't have. And I'm telling you that I have and I'm stepping up.
But step up for the child and let me be a mother to our
So
child.
what
But
about
he's
what
not
about him being a
stopping-
father?
But he's not stopping the mother from being a mother to
But
the
it
child.
will not stop
He
him from
just
being a
asking-
father.
He just wants
No,
the
but-
child to live
but
with
to-
him full time.
But no, to me
And
a
I
while
don't
ago.
see anything wrong
Hold
with
on,
that.
to me a while ago, I saw you diminish what.
Why he have to?
Hold on, let me out. You diminished what he could contribute as a father, as more financial and not nurturing.
Because of what he said. He said twice my salary.
Yeah, I understand, but you said
That's
you could
why
take care of things
I'm not diminishing
financially.
it. I'm going based on what he said.
Okay, so what advantage would the child have? I don't use your son. Your son is not the example. What advantage would a child have being with the mother in a situation as a primary caregiver versus that of the father? What advantage is there to have?
I think what needs to happen in a situation like that, both the mother and father needs to sit down and need to have a conversation on how they're going to split the responsibilities of said child without affecting them, without affecting the child. Sorry.
That is impossible to not affect the child on the hospital.
Without affecting the child. And I will say it like that because I think I have a co-parenting relationship with my son's dad where I can safely say we are both active in Kyrie's life.
But can you safely say you're not affecting the child?
I don't think being brought up in or spending time living with me and spending time with your dad is affecting Kai. He still has access to his dad, which is what is important.
You don't see the effects yet.
Because Carol spoke about time. Right now, what matters to Kai is the time spent with his father. So Kyrie already knows.
1 second. How old was he when he was hospital?
My son, I was pregnant.
So before he was born.
I hear where you're coming from.
Yeah, he wouldn't.
Wouldn't.
Yeah, he never saw them together. He never have done children.
Okay.
It's
But then you
different.
should have said that.
It's
No, but
different
no,
when
but
they
no,
So
but
then I
see-
could have spoke on that.
You see, I feel what we're missing out on and I wanted to circle back into the main topic and then to splinter into the other one that we have to discuss. What I think some of what we're missing out on is that we could only speak from the I perspective in most situations.
Yeah.
We can't really speak on the from a how it's going to affect the child unless the child says how it affects them.
Right.
One person versus the other is not in their life.
Right.
I think what's most important, what your dynamic might be working and suitable for you, because at the end of the day, you might be the stronger parent in terms of the dynamic of the parenting. You understand where I'm coming from? So you might have that stronger thing. So if it's a situation of that, then I have no problem with it.
Right.
But I could tell you, there was no way my son was not going to stay with me. And it's for multiple reasons. For one, he's a boy.
Okay.
Right? For one, he's a boy. And like I tell you, I'm a firm believer
So you're
that
saying that
men
he
raise
lives
men.
with you?
Yeah, my son is, I'm my son's primary caregiver. So, and it's not that he doesn't have his mom time and so on and so forth. It doesn't affect that. He spends days with us, so on and so forth. But I believe if I had a daughter, if I personally had a daughter and my situation was similar, and his mother was in a place where she could, which was stable and able to take care of her, I would do that. I think
what
we
if
have to
the
look at it from
mother
that
had
perspective.
an objection to that? What if she wanted to be the
objection to
child
which one? To the boy?
to your situation?
I am saying my situation as
Because
is.
you said there's no way
There's no
that
way.
you would have
There's
not
absolutely
been the
no
primary
way. There's
caregiver for
absolutely
your son.
no way
So what
I would
if
not
the
be primary
mom
caregiver.
had objected and said, no, I want to be the primary caregiver for our child?
She could object, but I could give justification as to why it would be me. And again, like I said, it's not about her. It's not about us at the point in time. I believe the dynamics are important. At 11 years old,
But you know you can give justification, but she would legally have the rights to the child.
it depends on the dynamic.
No, I'm telling you. No, I'm not asking you.
Legally until you go to court.
Yeah. But then to go to court for custody for that child, right?
Okay, let me
Even
ask you a
that-
question. Let me ask you a question. I don't want to go into the legal
you know-
ramifications of the situation,
Do you
right?
know?
I don't really want to go into the legal ramification. What I'm trying to tell you is, if anybody would have pushed me on the fact of raising my son, it doesn't matter the distance I would have to go, I would have gone.
No, but I'm asking though, because everybody is asking the what if. So I want to ask the direct a what if to you. What if she said, our son is going to live with me and you will have him on weekends?
That I would not accept it.
No, okay.
You would have fight or no matter what.
I would not accept it, and it was not, at that point in time. It's not about us. Okay, let me give you
So
a
what is
situation.
it about?
Let me explain to you. Let me explain
If
to you why.
you know she is fully capable of taking care of that
Let's put it
child.
this way.
Yeah, but it's not
Let's
just
put it
about
this way.
taking care. He has a
It's not.
son.
I have a
and in
boy.
his mind, a woman cannot raise a man.
And that's not only that. That's not only that. The dynamic in my situation, for example, would have been that he would have been living what he was familiar with and going into an environment that is unfamiliar to. I believe at all points in time in a child's growing up, boy or girl, you leave them in a situation as close to familiar as possible. Let me put in an example. Let me give you a clear example of it. If you have a child, right, and your child has been having friends at one school for the longest while, so you're living in Castries, right? The child, your mom, the mom and father decided to split. The mother decided she wanted to go down before. You uproot the child from their environment, give them a brand new environment. That is trauma to the child, not to you, but to the child. So, in my opinion, it is better to keep the child in a familiar environment, something that you know, because it's already jarring that the parents are not together.
So hold on.
I hope I'm making sense.
Yeah,
You
you
are.
are.
But hold on. Who are you to determine that your situation is what's familiar to the child and not the mother's situation?
Because
The environment is where he's familiar. His Castries environment, where his friends are, the schools that he's familiar with, the environment that he's accustomed
grew
to.
up.
That's where he's grown up. You
to
now,
take
as
him
the
from
mother,
there and
to
go
take him and bring him
somewhere
to Viewfort, making you the only familiar person that he has. He's already away from his
He now
father,
has to make
and
new
now you have to
friends,
make
new
whole new
everything.
friends, a whole new environment. So the dynamic is not at that point in
Things
time.
like that can change your
Yeah, it could change the
entire-
dynamic of a family. So I believe, outside of the fact that I would have never let my son go, the environment that he was accustomed to, which is the environment that has been existing for the last 10 out of 12 years of his life, needs to be as constant as possible compared to the variations of life that may have been happening with the person that left.
Right.
You understand? So if we have to think of our children, sometimes we need to remove ourselves from the situation and think of
about
what is
what's
actually
best for them.
best for them.
No, I get that. I just-
I find you being a little hypocritical there.
Hypocrite how?
You cannot say, let go of the child. You need to let go of your child and don't think about what's best for them and say at the same time, you cannot have a situation with the child.
No, that's my situation.
There is no
That's my situation. I love being
there is no condition to loving the child. And if at one time I love the mother, she can have the child if she wants. But I offer and let her accept. It's like the way of the Jedi versus the way of the Sith. The fear of letting go is what sometimes can lead to the worst outcome. You have to be comfortable sometimes with losing things, because what if the child gets hit by a vehicle or something has happened? You have to be a little comfortable with being uncomfortable. You meet the child with the woman, you have to trust the woman to raise your child.
You know why I push back?
It has multiple layers.
It's layered. It's very
It has
layered.
multiple layers, because where Kurt is coming from is he feels for the scenario that was going on with his son, it was better his son stay with him, because as we said in the last couple of podcasts, is that a man can raise a boy and a woman can raise a girl. There are scenarios where vice versa can happen, but that is very rare. So we can only take Kurt's situation, because we can give Kurt multiple scenarios where it would not be ideal from other people's point of views. But from his point of view, the child raising there for the whole 10 years, friends, the familiarity, and understanding that he had a better standing in life, and him being a stand-up father and the mother being a stand-up mother, just that he being the better parents.
No,
and
well, not a better parent, because I don't pit parents against parents, but the environment.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Not the
Allowed
parent
one,
as in
yeah.
style or
Yeah.
whatever. I'm just like the better parent for the scenario in terms of the familiarity and maybe finances.
There was more pros with him living there
than going
Yeah.
there,
than
because
going-
things like that, girls bounce back quicker than boys. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, but in this, we're straight away from the topic.
Significantly, yeah. No, significantly, but yeah.
We have to remember
Back to
we originally
expectations.
talked about the expectations of
what we were
things.
talking
Unrealistic expectations.
I would pull out another video that I watched recently where this woman was sitting in her car doing a TikTok or whatever it was, and she was saying that as my male friend, which means there's no sexual relations or anything, she expects if they go to the gas station, the man is going to get out and pump her gas. If you are out, he's going to hold the door for her. If you're walking on the street, you need to correct her and put her on the correct side. She also went on to say that she does not expect any financial obligations from you or you to hold her bags at the grocery. And she said it took a little while for her to come around that. Now, does that mean she's asking for chivalry? Does it mean she's just asking for, like the new people say, a simp? Or is it that she's just asking men to be gentlemen? What are your take?
I think that's a bit of emotional dependency right there. And what she wants is a filler boyfriend while she's looking for a boyfriend. I do believe it's my duty as a man to hold every woman's hand and cross the road from the gas. Because if I'm doing that for you, yes, on one hand you could say it's practice for when I get my woman. But on the other hand, another woman watching might say, but somebody already in that space there. And then sometimes it's so diabolical. They will hold the space like a condom, but not give you that. So you always be in breadcrumb, though you have the carrot in front of you, like, yeah, I'm doing everything, and you're in that role. As a man, I believe it's for you to know where your limit is with anybody, friend, woman, child. You have to know what's your final story. You cannot be doing everything for a female friend. You're going out to lunch with them, you're buying this for them, you're going out for.
But she didn't say buying anything.
She said no financial obligation.
Okay, no
Just said-
financial obligation.
Yeah, she just said the
But
sugar.
me standing in the road for a vehicle to knock me is a bit higher than a financial obligation.
Oh, that's why I say she a bit unrealistic with some of them expectations too.
And it sounds like she had a hard time even accepting the fact that the man not supposed to be
Buying anything.
In some part of her mind,
She feel
boyfriend.
yeah.
Boyfriend. That's my boyfriend, but he not really my boyfriend. I still waiting for my boyfriend.
But a friend is a friend, yo. Like, why are you expecting all these things that you would expect from someone that you're dating?
You never heard a song a shoulder to cry on is a lulu to lie on.
Look.
Hear this, right? I actually agree, and I didn't even think of it in that regard. So I'm not disagreeing with the points you made, Jason. But there's a but.
A big
I think it's important to understand your friend dynamic or your friend circle, especially if you have the opposite sex as your friend, whether if it's a male best friend or a male best friend or a female best friend, right? I think, for example, I have a male best friend of 20-something plus years, and we do share a wonderful friendship, right?
Yeah, don't listen and not
You
judge.
know,
Don't listen and not
we
judge.
do share a wonderful friendship. And so much so, I don't even consider this person a friend. I look at this person as family, vice versa. Now, I know, I know that typically they say that women are not supposed to have male best friends and males are not supposed to have female best friends. But because of the dynamic of our friendship, I can actually say that I don't agree. My best friend, or my brother rather, has a girlfriend, and though I actually share some of the things that the girls spoke about in the video, my best friend and I go on lunch dates, dinner dates, family affairs, right? We both buy each other gifts, but I understand that when his person is there, that there is a boundary.
What this person is there only?
No, just there's always a boundary, but I'm just saying that.
Specifically when person.
Yeah, like I give that person respect, vice versa. If I am dating someone or I am with somebody, my best friend, has to give my partner
so
the
no more
respect.
so no more dinner dates.
We will still be going on our dinner dates. What are you
There's a
talking
saying
about?
that trust is what you do when my back is turned.
Yeah, but I am confident. I don't agree with that. I think it's because of different situations or experiences rather that people have. That's why they make these type of comments. But that has not been my experience. This is somebody that I grew up with from a little girl.
So would you accept your boyfriend doing the same thing with somebody else?
Hell yeah.
You know-
If the dynamics are the same.
You know-
and once I am present, my boyfriend's best friend understands I'm here.
But it's one way I notice that women have a different way of posturing than men. A woman posturing, they show that that's her trushy peeing on. It's different from the way a man will say that's my chair, you know. So, Simone, I want to wear your pick on this. So, be quiet, but go.
Well, I think it might be difficult in my experience, and just in general, for males to have female best friend and vice versa. When Kate mentioned this, I was like, we don't hear that often, and especially where the boundary hasn't been broken or any line has been passed. So I think, really knowing the type of
like person that you're getting involved with, a friend or like a friend group, and you really understand that okay, they can't cross this boundary, and just enforcing that is really important. But also going back to Carol's original points, I don't think it's fair for the guy to have to live up to these expectations.
Of the girl.
Yes, and then
Because that's what
you
my
know,
expectations.
What are you getting in the end? It's like, as Jason did, just kind of like a filler boyfriend. So I think that level of delusion. I'm sorry to say, I have to say, women have a higher level of delusion than men.
I'm sorry to say it.
It's the truth.
It's the
Because
truth.
I don't understand. I was like, what? Like some stories of that time, I'm like, I might just have to friend doing that.
But what about if she's probably saying, because I'm speaking for the girl, I'm speaking for myself, right? Oh. What if she's just saying that men don't have the practice of being gentlemen anymore, and whoever that considers to be her friend of the opposite sex should have those practices? Isn't that also a way of looking at it?
There was a scenario that I saw where, let me see if I can remember it correctly. This guy he held the door open into a Kmart or a Walmart or something, and two older ladies walked right by, and they said thank you. And a younger lady walked by, and she just walked through. So he walked up and he touched her. He's like, "Do you have no manners?" You know, and she's like, "What? I don't need to." And she's like, "But I held the door open for you. You could at least say thank you." She's like, "Oh no, that's what you're supposed to do." Now, I think this is where the things get blurry. I believe men should be gentlemen. I see nothing wrong with holding the door open for you. I see nothing wrong if we go out and, hey, we're going to get gas. If you pump in the gas, we're here, we don't pump our gas. But if you pump in the gas, I'll get out and pump the gas, even if I'm driving.
Or just do the manly things.
I'll do the manly things, but I expect the return from the female.
Exactly.
So what is the womanly thing?
And I agree.
No, it doesn't have to be sexual.
And I agree with the
I'm just saying.
I agree with the man though in that moment where you said that why he tapped the woman and why she couldn't say thank you.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't have manners them days. You know how much people I just open the door for, or hold the door open for, or hold the elevator open for, whatever the case is. In the building that I work in, I say good morning to every single body when I walking up the stairs, and not one person open them out except for security.
Here's another
downstairs.
thing that you see.
They just watch me like I weird.
If a man, and I challenge any one of you men to put that to the test. Any woman who's over 45 or 50, allow them to cross the street if you're driving, or hold the door open for them. And try it for any younger lady, and you'll see a very big difference in the generations. Even driving, it irritates me that I stop for older people or elderly people, and they hustle across the street. Some of them have canes and I have to be like, just relax, but they hustle across the street. Some of them say thank you. This younger generation, they'll stroll across the road. They'll look at you like it's their right after you're not on a pedestrian crossing. I'm not. And this goes to the fact of the entitlement. And because it was a woman who said that, we can also go on the male side where men will say, oh, my woman must cook, must clean, must do this for me to.
Yeah, woman,
All
not
right?
his friend.
Not his friend. But if he was saying, okay, so if you come over, I expect as my female friend for you to cook.
You know how ridiculous that sounds, right?
Okay? Yeah, go ahead.
Man will never open the door and say that. Though.
Or if we're out, you have to make me look good. You know? But the dynamics are very different for men and women.
Yeah, it is.
That's the thing about it. All right, so for example, I'll tell people she could call for all of that, and maybe more, like she had said, for you to pay her bills and hold her bags. And I'll be like, all right, you want me to do all of that? Before we go out and you come over, I want you to cook for me. When you come over, I'll tell you, all right, listen, I have some laundry to get done. You could do that for me.
But
It'll look like I'm an asshole.
no, if
No,
the
I'm just
woman
saying it will
doing all
look
that,
like
what
I'm an
you doing
asshole.
for the actual woman?
Exactly.
Exactly. Which is why I said the woman have unrealistic expectations.
Or you'll have sexual
And
tension.
or she have some form of tension with that friendship there, because you cannot tell me you looking at a man and saying that's your friend, your good friend, and you expecting all them things. I don't expect none of them things from my friend, so that nobody don't expect nothing from me.
Let me just piggyback on the only person that has the opposite sex as a best friend. I want to ask you some questions.
Wow.
Can I ask one question for you answer the question?
No, let me come
I
to it.
think-
No. Listen, it's not bad. It's
Moving
another time.
forward, I'm going to be of the same views as everyone.
No. Listen, why are you so defensive? You don't
But
understand.
that's not you.
You don't
But we love
understand.
it when you have opposing
Okay.
views to call
Okay.
it is
Yeah.
the extra.
I want
Listen, no, listen to my
be the
questions.
controversial one.
No, it's not controversial. I'm asking you some sincere questions.
Okay.
Right? Using what the woman is using for an argument to frame what her friend's supposed to do. And that's why I said supposed to do.
That's what she said.
What would be these reciprocal things as a female best friend or female friend you believe that she should do in that relationship? Let's just say what she's saying is completely correct. What do you think would be some equal contributions as a female best friend in that scenario?
Okay.
That's just you. That's your thoughts, eh? It doesn't have to be correct. What would so if you had
That's the thing. I don't know, because like with my actual situation, nothing that my best friend does for me, I expect it. You understand? It's not something that he has to do.
So what do you do as a female for your best friend?
I show up
Minus what
for him. I give the same support that he would give to me. We don't go like overboard with it, but we both meet each other. It's balanced.
Yeah. So it was
Just like in any normal friendship, right? For example,
Funny, that balance of
For example, Jason, you have a male friend. He come and tell you, I can't think of any scenario, but I coming by you later. Make sure when I come by you, you barbecuing, you cook food or whatever, right? You would see that as normal. Let's be realistic.
yeah, but no, I could relate to it, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Vice versa for a female. When my female friends are coming over, they will tell me, okay, make sure you have something bubbling, or prepare something.
So nothing out of the norm.
Nothing out of the norm. So why does it become out of the norm? Because it's two different genders.
No, because I'm only framing the question to you in that way
No,
because of how it really is.
I get it. I'm just saying.
But
that's how I look at it. I look at it as, if it's accepted, if it's two females or two males, why can't it be accepted with a male and a female, right? And they still be friends.
yeah.
You think if my best friend say to me, "Hey, I have water, you can wash my laundry for me," I'll tell him no. I go to wash the laundry.
I'll then come and use my washing machine.
No, I will wash it.
And the soap over
No.
there.
I will wash it.
I had to change the laundry.
I will wash it.
So my question for you.
So if he falls sick,
Yeah,
right?
but that's different.
No, it's not different.
It is
Well, let me
different.
finish. If he falls sick, right? Should I not wash his laundry?
That's different.
Why is it?
Because he's sick and he can't do it himself.
Also, only when he falls sick, I should offer to.
I didn't say that. I'm not, but you're not stopping him from coming by you to use your washing machine. Why you have to take time out of your day to
The
wash his
same way,
clothes?
my female best friend tell me, "Kay, I'm out of
That's your
water."
dynamic with your
But that's why I said,
I
if that's
understand that.
that's how I look at it. I look at it as it is equal.
Welcome to come and use
Right?
my appliances, but I
look at it as if it is.
on my own.
That's fine. I look at it as if it is equal.
So my question on
Let me finish. It is equal. What I would do for my female friend, I'm going to do for my male friend. Vice versa.
so my
So why is it
question-
normal to do with the same sex, but it's not normal to do with the opposite sex?
I get where you're coming from, and that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. Why can't you be
Why
the exact
have we
same?
already put in our heads that, yeah, that's man and woman thing? Because we can't accept.
It is us trying to decipher what are healthy boundaries and
That's why I
expectations.
said in the beginning, you have to define
And I guess that's what she was doing in her own way, yeah? Defining what her
your friendship.
her standards is.
Her friendship
You have
standards.
because this is some boy that I know all my life.
Okay, so that's a different scenario from what the person I was talking about. She was talking about any one of her male friends, not her best friend. So if let's just say that individual is UK and you know all the gentlemen here, if you happen to be going out with me, you would expect me to pump your gas and hold the door open if you go with Jason, if you go with Kurt. No, that's what she's saying.
I think the greatest issue with this statement in general is expectation.
Exactly.
I think outside of that, what she's saying there is acceptable. So, for example, if I'm out with a lady, if Kay is going outside, I will open the door for her.
Yep.
Yeah.
But she cannot. In my mind, it will be rude of her to have that as a general expectation.
It is
You
rude
understand?
of her to have
That's how I think about it. So she could have communicated exactly what she said, but she cannot put it in the bracket of expectation.
And I think that's what it is. I think she's just saying that there are no more gentlemen.
So here's another thing, as Kay is saying. Back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, even up to the 60s, it was just done by men to open the door for the ladies and to do all of these things for the ladies. And the ladies expected it, but they didn't say it because they knew it was going to happen anyway. Men would rush to open the door to see who's the first man
Or
to be
they
the
all
gentleman.
stand up when a woman enters the room.
Yeah, a woman
to
enters
sit
the room,
down.
they take their hat off, they stand up. There's certain courtesies. But at the same time, going back to modern times, people fail to realize that things are earned. Respect, love, and everything of those, all of those things, they're earned. There should be a certain level, that's like a starter level, and your actions, whether it be verbal, physical, or emotional, would gain you points. A lot of people expect to start from the top and decrease or stay there, and I don't believe that's right. Where she's coming from, I believe, yes, gentlemen should be gentlemen, but she should not be expecting it, and you're not exuding a woman aura or a woman's aura, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I completely agree, for sure. With what Carol is saying, I think what she should not have said is the expectation part of it, and rather that prior to in this society or this generation, men would be okay with opening the door or offering to pump your gas. Funny enough, my best friend works overseas, right?
Yeah.
And he always tells me that, like, when I make a fuss out of things that he does, he just look at it as him being courteous, like just normal. And then he says to me, "Kay, like, this is normal. Like in other parts of the world, this is normal.
It's like what?
Opening the door, pumping the gas, offering to pump the gas, right? We have established that it is rude of the person to expect it. But these are normal acts that happen.
And if it doesn't happen, you're not mad.
It's okay.
It's okay.
And I say that because recently I traveled, right? And that was my first time ever experiencing having to pump my gas, because we don't do that here in St. Lucia. So like more than one gentleman from like different age range literally ran to see if they could have assisted me because I was struggling to pump the gas. You think even if that was here, that would have happened?
Of course, because that's the jump to grow up.
When I'd broken my leg and I had my crutches, I was at the hospital doing something. And I was trying to do something on my vehicle, and I'm back and forth on my crutches doing whatever. 2 security guards passed. About 7 to 9 young men passed. An older gentleman stayed all the way across the parking lot and came and asked me, my boy, you need some help? You need some assistance? I see you there back and forth with your one leg and thing. I say, yeah, boss, I would really, man, help me organize what I had to do because I had to pull a vehicle, right? Help me tie what I had to tie and whatever and pull out the vehicle and organize it. And I sat down in the vehicle and I'm like, you know what? Look at how simple things are. A set of young men couldn't be older than 20, 21. Literally passed me, seen me doing what I'm doing. I didn't expect it, but it
would have been nice if one of them had
right.
stopped
It's
and
human
asked.
courtesy to offer help. To say an older gentleman can walk and notice that and come across the parking lot and do it. And it goes back to the same thing about the crossing the street, the respect, as Kay is saying, you know. But I would say one thing. If you have a best friend, whether it be a male best friend or a female best friend, there's a certain level of love you develop that's like sibling love or sometimes even deeper. You understand?
Because up to now, I don't ask the question yet.
All right. So I was just about to get to. So I would like to hear Jason's question to Kay.
I want to know, at some point, did he or you ever find the other person attractive?
I can speak for myself. I think my best friend is good looking, but not for me.
Attractive. They have to be good looking.
But that's what I feel.
There is a difference.
What's
but
the difference?
Basically, he asking
Alright.
you, have
Don't
you
try
ever been
that. You'll pop
attracted
out.
to your
Attracted
best
to
friend?
him to the yes.
What's saying you're not
Like
attracted?
I would compliment him. I'd be like, hey, you look nice today.
But that's different.
to the-
Different. You can look at someone and say that they look nice without
but
being
We're really like
attracted to them.
compliments. So you too
I
pretty.
think Jason should have asked me is, do I have a romantic attraction to my best friend?
What's the difference?
I feel like it's a big difference.
Okay.
Okay.
I want you to be vague.
Have you ever had a
Just answer
romantic?
me. You were vague. I wanted you to be a little bit comes off the corners and goes direct.
That wasn't direct?
No, it was
I
vague.
thought it was direct, but
Vague.
it's about choice of words.
So
So
romantic.
rephrase it and add the word romantic. in
Okay,
front.
let's not get caught up with semantics.
So to answer your question, no, at no point have I felt that I have a romantic attraction to my
Do you
best
think
friend.
there's the same on the other side though?
Again, I don't think so. I genuinely don't believe so, but he's
Answers
not
my
here to
question,
answer for himself. And I think we need to come out of that mindset.
Okay. All right. So let me just bring up thing. Let me try and address the 2 pointers that we try and think there today as we close, right? So on the first thing about the unrealistic expectation of dating with the woman that had children and she wanted a man that did not have children.
Was the opposite of who
But
she
I have a
was.
question for that, for the cast, for the first video with the unrealistic expectations. I have a question, guys.
Yes.
What is a non-negotiable term or non-negotiable for you in like when you're starting to date anybody? Like something they do and immediately, because we since we're talking about realistic expectations, I actually felt like that was because we had like a girls' night and the girlies asked that question, and for the life of me I couldn't think of one.
You have to look like a woman.
Okay. So if that was
Look like. No. You have to look like.
wait. Jason, that's the only thing.
Jason.
That's a no-no for
Jason.
you.
Look like. Please correct it.
Your no-no is the person has to look like a woman.
Yeah, we're going on the assumption that
A no-no.
In this day and age,
Out
Jason.
of all the things.
Fix it, Jason.
What is the break-in? What is your?
What
I
is
will
your
not continue dating this
absolutely
person.
no-no?
Oh, yeah. What's this non-negotiable?
Not be a woman, look like a woman.
He said going on the assumption that they're all women, huh?
that they're women.
No sex is not wrong.
Yeah.
Jason, I so lost. I remember. I'm at loss for words.
Jason say look like a woman. Okay. Femi.
For me,
Ah.
I need you as a female to do everything that a woman should be able to do. Because as a male, I can do it also. I can cook, I can clean, I can comb hair, I can wash clothes, I can do all of these things. So if you come into my table,
I mean, I can put my
no. If you come into my table, I want to be able to make sure that, let's just say, if this thing works out, and let's just say you fall sick or I fall sick, the children in the house are not going to suffer.
Facts.
Yeah, like if you can't cook or clean or wash your hand and those things and you're willing to learn, I'm not about that.
Facts.
One time.
Yeah, I'm not about that.
That's what I was saying.
That's not what you want.
You said it. They have to look like a woman. Like, what is that?
Listen, Jesus' mind was somewhere else. That's what I'm saying. Okay?
My mind was a doorway.
I think I have two. Can I say my two?
Yes.
You have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hear these two. I'm excited.
First one, you can't have multiple baby mothers and multiple children. If it crossing, if it crossing two,
No, but at least she don't have multiple.
Our guideline is 2,
if
maybe
it cross
3.
two different mothers, that's a red flag to me. Secondly,
The man have to be a handyman. We can't be in the house. You don't know how to put up the show, and then I don't know how to put up the show. If that's
He have money, he'll hire somebody.
Facts.
because I've experienced family and significant others who just can't do anything, and they're just like, why you even in it?
Yes, I agree with you.
yeah. So that's
I agree with you.
non-negotiable.
And I'm gonna piggyback on that. You need to be a handyman. You need to at least know how to do something. Because there's things I know how to do. As a woman who used to live alone a long time for herself and don't have nobody there to help her. My brother not there, my uncle's not around. You understand? I had to learn different things. I know how to fix certain things by myself. However, it's nice to have a handyman that know how to do them things that I don't have to do it no more.
So that's a man's job.
Exactly. Because I know how to cook, clean, wash, and do everything else under the sun. So,
To do that, you just do the handy work.
exactly. So you do the man stuff and I deal with the female stuff and then some. And the second thing is, I'm piggybacking back on Simone's point there. You can have 5,000 million children with how much different baby mother because I do not want the trouble. I really don't. They just be...
Canon going.
Besides them going back to this baby mother and that baby mother every now and again when me and them get vexed, that can't work. And then the fact that they want to pit the child against the father and find out information about what's going on in this household and that. Nope, don't want it. One and done. Or two from the one same mother.
You're non-negotiable, bro.
Oh, my non-negotiable. Oh, shucks, boy. I never really thought about that. That was just the first thing that come to my mind.
Well, you did say one of your main things was you like working women.
Yeah, I know I'm the type. Yeah, I like to see a woman that can actually put in the work.
So an ambitious woman.
Huh?
What exactly are you speaking about?
I think if I had to say my real non-negotiable, I want a child out of the relationship. Me personally, I agree with you. For you to not have 10,000 women, that means you must not be entertaining 10,000 women. So I wouldn't be fixing Jane pipes and Jenny gas and going over to do Juliet laundry.
Well-rounded.
Well,
Hold on, okay, what's yours?
I have to answer too?
You answer.
Yeah, but you asked the question.
Okay.
but she said it already.
Well,
What's mine? Not having
She
children.
don't.
Yeah,
Once you have expectation that children, yeah, that's a non-negotiable for
Yeah,
her.
so me and Kika be now.
Down, because I did say, understand. Mine would be, now that I've thought of it, I would love to have somebody that will keep me within my feminine energy.
That's non-negotiable.
Whatever
So
that
if
is.
he has more
That is very
feminine than
big.
you, that's not negotiable.
Fact.
So you have to look like a man.
Oh, he has to be a leader. If
All
you
right.
cannot lead, then you cannot, it's a no.
All right, guys. So
No mama's boy.
let's take it home. Femi,
Thank you.
Uh,
it's your close.
Thank you,
You're
bro.
close. You're close.
Well, what I'm going to leave you with today is that I really think that after this whole conversation, I think women on a whole have to really sit and think about some of these expectations that they're expecting. Some things are not meant to be an expectation. It's just something that people can do if they choose to do it, but not meant to be a full-on expectation. And if you do have these expectations, live within your means. Like, don't be expecting something you're not. If you cannot do it, how you can expect someone else to be the complete opposite to you? Yes, I understand that you lived through it, but that doesn't mean that well, that's a wrong choice of word. But that doesn't mean that you just downright expect the complete opposite or should have the complete opposite to what it is that you yourself have lived through, because it's not fair. And yes, I know life isn't fair, but at the same point in time, we really need to hone our expectations and think deeply as to what is more important than the other. There are some things that we think that might be important at the time, and sometimes the little things that we left out of the whole entire list is what should have been taken into account from the beginning.
Grown Folks Only Podcast.